All right, thank you so much. This is Apex One Radio. We are back in the studio, and it's a new day, brand new day. It's Saturday, November the 16th, 2024. Just 2 weeks to the end of the 11th month of the 2024th year after the birth of Christ. So we are gradually but steadily moving to the end of 2024. But then we are not there yet. And so, how has your week been? Thank God it's weekend. I know you've had a tedious working week, but then it's weekend and time for you to relax. My name is Ernest. This is Apex One with you live from the United States of America, precisely from the H-old city of Columbus, which is the chief city of the state of Ohio. We are in the Midwestern regions of the United States of America, and we're back on radio today, this time for yet another edition of Apex Movie Hall. And on this show, we talk movies, we talk to the actors in the domain, and we look at the news, what makes news in the global film industry. But today we're focusing on Cameroon, and we'll be speaking with two big names. Syriette Shin is not new to Apex One Radio. She's been on this platform some time ago. Then Musi has been here on Apex One Radio since inception. Musi is also a very big name in the film industry in Cameroon. For those of you who are coming across him for the first time, you get to know more about this great gentleman in this edition of Apex Snapshots on Apex One Radio. We are not there yet. Shin, how are you today?
I'm doing good, Ernest. How about you?
I am good. How was the week?
The week was fantastic on my end.
Mm,
Uh, Everything went well.
mhm.
It's true, it's getting so cold, but we are coping. We're actually coping.
It is. It is. Temperatures are dropping, but what do? We'll keep it up. So, I do understand you have a busy Saturday today.
Yeah, very, very busy.
It on radio first, then the rest will follow suit. So, are you ready?
Exactly.
All right. So, set. It's another edition of Bex Movie Hall. And today, we'll be listening to giants in the Cameroon film industry. Last week, we had Chini Sylvia Wright, Best Cameroonian Actress as Crown Noir 2024. It was a fantastic show as well. Well, we're back on radio today to talk to more makers. And like I said, today we'll be receiving two names. Beginning with Syriette. Syriette is a Cameroonian actress standing tall at 1.27 meters. She is a star in the Cameroonian film industry, hailing from the northwest region of that country. And so she's an exceptional, uh, talented actress who has carved a niche for herself, both as a role model and a revitalizer in African cinema. With an impressive portfolio of films, Syriette has graced the screens in productions such as My Image, produced by Lin Inanga and directed by Kanyan Kwai. She's also done Samba, she's done Hidden Brain, Two Ways, and of course the most acclaimed, The Planters Plantation. Her performances have earned her some awards both at home and abroad, solidifying her status as one of the most celebrated actresses in the film industry in Cameroon. Syriette's impact extends beyond her on screen brilliance. Her commitment to mentoring young, talented actresses makes her indispensable in the Cameroonian film sector.
Yeah.
So last week we had the best actress in Cameroon as per Ekran Noir 2024, who said that she has learned a lot from Syriette and that this actress has held her hand in the industry and taken her to where she is today. Now, as one of the pioneers of the Cameroonian film industry, Syriette's career has been instrumental in shaping her growth and, of course, the growth of the industry. Her dedication by excellence continue to inspire new generation actresses and actors in the industry. And so she will be speaking from Douala live in this edition of Apex Movie Hall. And like I said, she's not unfamiliar to Apex One Radio. She's been here in the past. But then she comes back today to tell us how she's been faring, what her projects are, and of course, lots more. Meantime, Nkeng Musi stands as one of the most influential figures in the Cameroonian film industry. As a pioneering producer and president of the Producers Guild of Cameroon, his leadership and innovative drive have been pivotal in shaping the country's industry. A true tribalizer as well, Wamusi served as the first president of the Cameroon Film Industry CFI from 2007 to 2013, a role in which he laid the foundation for the modern cinematic landscape in Cameroon. Musi's leadership has earned him recognition as a leader par excellence, respected both home and abroad. Known for his industrious nature and sharp intelligence, Wabusi has traveled widely representing Cameroon on the global stage in pursuit of film business opportunities. He recently participated in the Abuja International Film Festival in Nigeria, where he was panelist in the festival's panel discussion that focus on opportunities and challenges of investing in African cinema. And so Wamusi comes on radio today to tell us about this festival and his participation at the Abuja International Festival. And of course, what he currently has in the pipeline as far as the Producers Guild of Cameroon is concerned, and also as far as his film career is concerned. And so these are the guests we have on the show today. Wamusi and Syriette, who are now joining us live on the show. Now, let's see who comes first. Let's get them on the board. Beginning with the lady, of course, the ladies before gentlemen. Syriette, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Thank you, Ernest. I'm doing very well. How about you?
I am good. We thank God. How is Douala this afternoon?
Douala is hot as usual, but we are coping, finding a way to cope.
That is good. So let's Shin welcome Wamusi.
Welcome, Mr. Wamusi. Can you hear us?
Thank you very much, Shin. Thank you very much, Ernest. My regards to Syriette. Syriette, how are you doing? Hope Douala is great today.
I'm doing
Um,
good today. Thank you.
it's always been my pleasure being on the show, but just so I make this little correction because I know Ernest, since 2007 that I got into the Cameroon film industry with the structuralization. Recently in April this year, I lost my father disappeared who was a phone, and for some reason you would bear with me. I'm now the heir to that throne, so my new title, I'm His Royal Highness
Okay.
Chief Musi wa Muguru Nkeng. And of course, I still measure as a filmmaker. So I'm just so on this show, we announced that because if you look at my outing in Abuja, you definitely see some aspects of royalty. So
Yeah.
just for the viewers and listeners who know me very well, I just want to raise this and let them understand that I'm now His Royal Highness Chief Musiwa of Pinin, the Panmeken, Pinin.
Thank you so much for that precision. His Royal Highness Chief Musi. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Right, once again, you are welcome to the show there. All right,
Thank you very much.
first things first, how is the Producers Guild of Cameroon doing as we speak?
Well,
Come again.
let me say the Producers Guild of the Cameroon Film Industry, to which I am the current president, it's faring relatively very well. It's good. We are going up strong, but it's important to emphasize here to make reference to the point that it is never too well when we look at the current socio-political crisis that is affecting two regions of Cameroon, and of course, which actually most of the members of the Producers Guild they hail from these regions. And I must be honest that it's actually played on productivity, the strength of a production, and
Yeah.
it's affected a couple of things. But in the nutshell, we are doing well because we say we filmmakers every act that happens in our day-to-day life, anything that happens in our society, is just another aspect for us to tell our stories. So yes, what is going on in the two restive regions of Cameroon is just giving us more and more stories to be told on the screens. Yes, the Producers Guild is faring on well, and with the productions as well are going on successfully.
Okay, that's wonderful. So, despite the challenges, you keep moving forward. So, before we continue, please can you remind our
Right.
listeners what is the mission of the Producers Guild of Cameroon? What's their mission?
Well, simply our mission is to we are bound to uphold and protect the artistic rights of members through our collective bargaining power. We, in the sense that we can mediate between producers, production houses, and actors, same as we can negotiate contracts for members irrespective of their different production houses, as well as we ensure that contracts duly signed by members are fulfilled. Another aspect which we hold very close to our hearts is we organize and participate in different trainings and workshops, seminars, as well as festivals at national and international levels. And it will interest you to also know that the Producers Guild of Cameroon secures an equitable compensation and maybe fair working conditions for all its members. Encouraging most of our to, of course, improve upon their skills by attending these workshops, festivals, being part of premieres and programs that benefit most of the members in terms of their skills. The Producers Guild as well, we are trying to set up a structure where we can run a film academy, which in the future will assist film producers attain professionalism as we keep on having new and younger filmmakers coming up. And of course, you would understand that we cannot do all of this without working hand in glove with the government. So we also serve as an auxiliary arm of government, ensuring that all audiovisual productions and copyright laws of Cameroon are being respected. I think these are some of the major roadmaps and objectives of the Producers Guild of Cameroon,
Yeah.
which, of course, we have certain areas which we really embark on. Yeah. So for now, basically, these are some of the areas and the goal of the Producers Guild.
His Royal Highness Chief Musi, who is the president of the Producers Guild of Cameroon. He is joining us live on the show today. His Royal Highness also doubles as filmmaker and senior audiovisual consultant. He's live on radio today. Let's move on to the actress Syriette. So, Syriette, to start off with, how has it been? Let's just know how it's been, especially within the past few years.
Thank you, Ernest. Thank you for bringing me on again. Um, the past few years has been crazy. Like we've had a lot of movies going on. You know, I've been on movie sets, a couple of them, and
Mhm.
very successful movies at that. So, I mean, the industry has been busy.
That's wonderful. So please, can you tell us about your most, or like talk about briefly on your most recent movie?
Okay, my most recent movie, which should I talk about? Flush or okay, let me talk about Broken Roses. I think that's the most recent.
Yeah.
Broken Roses, yes, a film directed by Bismarck Eno and produced by Mbeng Lilian, aka Caro. I mean, shout out to Lilian, the amazing works. I mean, she's been doing. That lady is powerful. So, I mean, that's the most recent movie that I did. And I want to say that Cameroon should get ready for ML production because the work that those people are doing, are putting in right now,
Mhm.
it's going to be mind blowing. It's going to be mind blowing. So um it's been an amazing experience working with them. I want to say that they are putting in the best to make sure that they send out the best product too, especially when it comes to the cast. If you want to go back to some of her movies that she has done, and you know the team that she's working with, you know we
Yeah.
have a team of vibrant crew members who
Mhm.
are ready. They are hungry for growth. They are hungry for success. You know, they really want to keep a mark in the film industry. And I want to say that with this in mind, the Cameroon film or the audience should not be expecting anything less from ML production because they
Mhm.
go for the best actors. If you go way back and check, they go for the best actors. They go for, I mean, they have improved massively on their equipment. I mean, Cameroon should anticipate.
Cameroon should definitely anticipate. It's
Yes.
worth noting that Ben Lillian and Ben Lillian Production are doing great so far, and in the next couple of years, it will definitely be, an industry to reckon with, thanks to this new phase of movie production which we are experiencing in Cameroon today. We'll come back to Broken Roses, Syriette, but I want to take you back to the Planters Plantation,
Okay.
which is one of the movies you are starring in, and one of the movies that has traveled across the world, harvesting awards, you know. So tell us about how you got on this production, and tell us about your role, uh, you know, in the movie as well.
Oh, well, anyways, anybody who knows me would know that the director, the producer, one of the producers of the Planters Plantation, Estin Young Jr.,
Hmm.
is a brother. You
Mm.
know, that is not to say that he casted me based on, you know, on that. No. If you know Estin Young Jr., you will know that he's somebody who goes for the best equally. You know, so he had to, in as much as I was a part of the team, I was working in close collaboration with Estin Young Jr., Queenie Ejam, and many others. I will like to tell you that it was strictly on who merits what.
Hmm.
So yes, an audition was run, and that's how I got to be on board. And then equally based on my past films, the films that I've done in the past, my performances and all of that. So I don't think that not everybody was auditioned, by the way. Some lead actors were not auditioned. So but they could at least know what they could do. So I mean, being on that set was really one of my most, I would say, amazing experiences. Um, Especially when it came to the casting, when it came to um the filming, when it came to production proper, when it came to, professionalism, delivery. I mean, it was really amazing because everybody, the likes of Tifanito Okwa, Queenie Ijang, Nimo Lovelin, I mean, just to name a few, everyone was on point. They made the job so easy for me and everyone else, so it was an amazing experience too.
Okay, thank you so much. So we are going to go back to the next question will be for his excellence, his
Royal Highness.
Royal Highness Chief Wamusi. This question is for you. So I just want to know, does the PGC take track of the number of movies that are produced by the country and its diaspora annually? If so, would you say in terms of quantity, Cameroon is in good shape?
Yeah, Shane. Yeah, honestly, I would say we are perfectly in good shape in Cameroon in terms of the quantity of films that are being produced.
Mm. That's beautiful. I'll stay with you, His Royal Highness. I do understand that in the past, the quality of films produced in Cameroon was a very big issue, and uh, some people even heard that the industry wasn't progressing because of the bad quality in quotes, bad quality uh, movies you produce back then. So in 2024, we want to know if that is still the case. If not, uh, tell us how the producers and the filmmakers are faring as far as quality productions is concerned.
I would say that they
Yes, go ahead. We can hear you. Can you hear us, His Royal Highness? Okay, apparently we have some sound
yeah,
issues. Okay, can you
yes,
hear us
I'm
now?
here. I'm getting you.
All right,
Yes,
go right
I'm
ahead.
here. Right. Well, I think we in terms of the quality, we've improved drastically because before now, Cameroon, the quality of films that were produced, yes, they were substandard. In the late 2000s, it was substandard. But if you look at what entails today, you would realize that there are lots and lots of filmmakers who have recently joined the trends of modern technology
Mm,
because the cinema industry in itself has improved in terms of equipment, in terms of quality, and everybody is going digital. Film is being done, is being sold, is being marketed online, and we have the kind of technicians because for an industry to bloom we need a particular standard of technicians in the industry, and the proof of the increase in our production strength in our quality is the kind of technicians that we have in the industry and the films and the Cameroonian films that have been winning awards internationally lately. You would bear with me that for most of the big festivals that you know around the globe, Cameroon have stood out has stood out high in these festivals with recent awards. The Planters Plantation. We have films like When the Leaves Broke. We have there are lots of these films that have been produced. We have Kismet. We have films like Dead Man's Witch. There are lots of films that are in the market presently, and these films are winning awards internationally. That's just to show you that we are no longer at that level of quantifying or qualifying our productions in Cameroon. We are at the level of an international competition. So yes, we have improved, and so far so good. I say kudos to all the filmmakers, the producers, the directors, the actors and actresses who are venting their hands and who are not relenting their efforts in trying to propagate and promote the Cameroon film industry, keeping their heads high and keeping their nose above the waters.
Mhm.
And His Royal Highness, talking on the quality of the film production you just mentioned, we would like to know if the Producers Guild of Cameroon is in collaboration with any other association to make this happen, to make this change.
First and foremost, you would know that the way the Cameroon film industry is structured, it is structured into guilds. We have six functional guilds: producers, directors, actors, writers, technicians, marketers. And all these different functional guilds, they work hand in glove because as syndicates, the Cameroon film industry has just this management structure, which we call it the board. And talking about partnership, we have partnered with all the other guilds. We have had MOUs with all the other guilds to make sure that what it's a problem in house A, it's certainly a problem in house B or C.
Yeah.
And through these MOUs, we have been able to interwoven, work hand in hand, and be able to resolve most of the problems within the industry. Take for example, if an actor is not in quotes registered under the Actors Guild of the Cameroon film industry, you would definitely not be taking part in a production by a producer or a director who is a member of another guild, the Producers Guild, the Directors Guild of the Cameroon film industry. Yes, there is this MOU, there's this partnership we have with other syndicates, and of course, we are still building partnership with government structures, which they are presently talking about federating the different structures, the different organizations and associations under the film industry. We are still looking towards that partnership, which we are trying to dot the T's and to cut the T's and dot the I's in building a more suitable and productive film industry or cinema landscape in Cameroon.
Yeah. So before we move to Chef Syriette, certainly things are not just moving smoothly. There are certainly challenges. So what are your current challenges?
We every time I talk in a public space, I always try as much as possible to avoid saying that we have challenges, because to me every obstacle that we get, life generally is full of these challenges, and moving up every step in life needs you to have an understanding that you cannot go up the first floor without putting in some energy. You cannot get up the second, third, and fourth without a certain degree of energy being lost. So challenges to me is that energy that we put in at each stage moving up the ladder. So if you want me to answer your question on challenges, yes, it's about the younger filmmakers who are joining the industry and who are still being hesitant to be part of the functional guilds that exist under the industry, which I think they are gradually coming to an understanding that it is but imperative and just normal for them to be part of a moving train, because in being organized and structured, it gives everyone the laxity to exercise their career or their profession easily. And you would bear with me that there are lots and lots of opportunities out there in terms of distribution, in terms of marketing, in terms of training, in terms of festivals, that if you are not part of the industry within any of the structures, it becomes difficult for you to function as an independent filmmaker. But we do not as well stop filmmakers from being independent. But I think collectively, the opportunities of our way being independent. So yes, these are the only little challenges that I think we have in the industry. But also, we should also acknowledge the fact that finances in the industry, we are still at that level where a filmmaker, a producer can get into a bank, ask for a loan, get a loan, produce a film, do an ROI, return on investment, within a certain period, pay back to the banks. If you go to other industries, like I was in Nigeria recently, there are lots of things that happen. In other countries, there are opportunities that filmmakers can easily access raw cash without going through the normal loan procedure that is applied in most banking systems with people who want to access loans. Filmmakers are people who have creativity. They don't have a good they are selling. The only thing they are selling is their brain. So there has to be a loan structure in financial institutions that allows
Okay.
There are scores of training, marketing, and other opportunities for film creatives
loans easily.
out there,
Yeah.
and all they need to do is to line up. I belong to a film guild, which will open up, such doors for those opportunities. We are listening there to His Royal Highness Chief Musi Wa, the president of the Producers Guild of Cameroon. He's speaking live on Apex Movie Hall, accompanied by Syriette Che, who is an actress in the industry as well. If you're just joining us, welcome to the show. Syriette, I will turn back to you to talk about some of the films you have either starred or featured in. And I would like us to talk about Samba, which is a TV series that was done a couple of years ago by Omega One Entertainment. Take us back to those sweet old memories of Samba.
Mhm. Oh my God. When you talk about Samba, I mean, there's so many amazing memories that just comes to mind. I mean, it was such a beautiful moment. That was one of my major projects that I featured in
Mhm.
Samba. I remember traveling all the way to Limbe for an audition. The first memory was the one I created with my team from Bamenda, the Raffinated team. We traveled all the way to Limbe for the audition. We auditioned, came back, and then when we were casted, we were so excited. We couldn't wait to go on set. The character Julie, oh my God, one of the most interesting characters I have ever picked up. It's just this girl who is lousy. She's all over the place. She
Mhm.
is just somebody who facilitates in a company, but then she poses like the boss of the company. She's not quite fortunate in life when it comes to relationship and all of that. So because of all those, she just brings herself. There is this I don't know if it's a myth or it's a fact, but the people who are always the life of the party always have the most things going on in their life. Like, they have a lot going on in their life. So they always try to just keep themselves going lively and all of that. So
Mhm.
Julie was that girl who eavesdrop on you. She poke her nose where she is not supposed to. So it was an amazing time spent on the set working with Enna John Scott, who is one of the biggest directors in Cameroon, and having the privilege to work on the set Samba,
Mhm.
produced by Elung Brenda, one of the biggest producers in Cameroon, working with people all over the country and out of the country, like Alan Paul and all of that. I mean, huh, It was amazing, especially some of my crazy scenes with Grandpa Helen Paul. These people can really, really be hilarious sometimes. So it was fun.
Mm. I do understand that, and I know you work with other colleagues like Sang Dillon, Jeff Epule,
Yes.
Nina Marie. What was your
Adig
rapport with
Kelly,
this?
such a phenomenal
Adik Kelly, of
actress.
course.
Mm.
So
Libota
what was your
Maxon.
rapport with these actors and actresses in the production?
Come again, please.
So, what was your relationship with these actors and actresses in that particular production?
Okay, offset before going on that movie set, I do not think that I had any personal relationship by that time with anyone except for Libota McDonough, which I had done a movie with him before,
Hmm.
and maybe a few others raffinated actors and all of that. But I do not think that I had a personal relationship with anyone who featured on Samba before that production. But when I
Hmm.
went on board, we related so well. I mean, the flow was really smooth.
Hmm. I also understand you were part of Tenacity, produced and directed by Musi Derrick. That was a long time ago.
Mm.
Let us talk about this a little bit. So, what are some of the memories you have of that production?
A big shout out to everyone who took part on Tenacity.
Mm.
I mean, Joe Branks, Velvia, Naya Rufina, I mean, Davila, a whole lot of them. I mean, there were so many. And I want to say that this this movie is one of the biggest that we had at
Mhm.
that time, one of the biggest. And the cast was massive, and everyone performed like their lives depended on it. I can remember vividly how oh, shout out to Godfather Colonel Dixon.
Mhm.
Colonel caught foul. We mop live foul. Hey goodness. I mean,
Wow.
so everyone, me, Alene Menget, everyone was there, irrespective of the distance, the location, in somewhere around Alamandom, everyone was committed. I can remember some actors' properties were even stolen on that set by the the people of that area,
Mhm.
but everyone kept on working. Thank God we're able to trace it and get it back. But that is to tell you the risk that was involved, yet actors could go all the way out to be able to make that movie a success. And
Mhm.
to say that Musin Derrick, who is equally a very, very good director, had to, I mean, do what he does best to be able to come out with such an amazing product.
Mm. Shout out to film director Musi Derrick, who has also printed his name in the annals of the Cameroon film industry. We are speaking with Syriette Chair and His Royal Highness Chief Musi Wang on radio today. The show is Apex Movie Hall. The day is Saturday. The date is the 16th of November. And of course, the time is 9 minutes to 12 here in the studio of Apex One Radio. In Cameroon, it is 5:52. Let me turn back to the president of the Producers Guild of Cameroon, His Royal Highness Chief Musi Wa. His Royal Highness, a couple of months ago, you and other pioneers in the industry created what could be described today as the most productive WhatsApp group ever, as far as the film industry in Cameroon is concerned. Tell us about the CFI Social Network Hub. Where does this idea come from, and what is the mission of this WhatsApp group, which seems to be very active with more than 1,000 members? Looks like we cannot hear him. His Royal Highness, can you hear us?
I'm here. Are you getting me?
Yes, I'm getting you now.
I,
Did you get
okay,
the
good.
question?
Yes, I got the question. I got
All right.
the question well on the Cameroon social networking hub.
Mhm.
Yeah. If you actually look at the
Unfortunately, we lost him again. We'll definitely come back to that. We're having some internet connectivity issues.
oh, you're getting me, Ernest?
Okay, I can get you now.
Right. Yeah, what I'm saying that the Cameroon Film Industry Social Networking Hub was
Mhm.
created with an idea from a few of us, pioneers of the industry,
Mhm.
myself, Gilbert Ebot. We spoke with Madame Brenda Elong, we spoke with Billy Bob Ndiver. We had all this thinking going on how we wanted to make the industry better. And we realized that there were lots and lots of younger filmmakers coming up in Cameroon
Mhm.
who were still indifferent with the ideologies of the Cameroon film industry and who still thought that maybe they could not join the Cameroon film industry because of the kind of names, the kind of persons. They thought it was something for a certain class of persons.
Mhm.
But we thought it wise that with the drop in the numerical drop in the members of the different guilds, we realized that lots of actors were out there who were interested in filmmaking,
Mhm.
lots of producers and directors, but they didn't have the opportunity to show off their works. So we created the Cameroon Film Industry Social Networking Hub because we wanted to have everyone, irrespective of your background, your film knowledge, and everything, to be
Mhm.
part of that hub. That's why we call it a market. It's like a hub. It's a social networking hub,
Mhm.
and everyone says everything, does everything, and of course learns from everyone. So we created that hub, and today it's one of the most interactive film platforms that we have in Cameroon, where everyone
Mhm.
shares and distributes their productions, their knowledge, and everything. And if you look
Mhm.
at the membership currently, we only barely struggle to add members because the hub is already full. It's difficult to get more people on because
Right.
we don't want to get people, we don't want to lose people. And it's from that hub that we have been able to nurse members for the different guilds
Mhm.
in sharing and talking because when we started it, we talked to them a lot about what the Cameroon film industry was all about, knowing that it was a free market space.
Mhm.
And lots of them, I must assure you, have joined the different guilds. If you talk to the president of the Actors Guild, Directors Guild, technicians, writers, marketers, and producers guild, we will tell you that we have increased our strength of membership just from the creation of that platform. And I think that's the main reason and how we've been using it. And of course, there are many works that have been shared on that group that you wouldn't believe that these young filmmakers or these independent filmmakers have been doing. So it's a
Mhm.
wonderful platform.
It is definitely a wonderful platform. I've been observing that platform since creation, and it's a couple of months now. But the reason why I wanted us to talk about this particular forum is because in the past, the experience with such forums wasn't the best, but this time around it's been different, really productive, as you just mentioned. So what keeps this forum going, and how would you explain the level of discipline which we observe on it? Can you hear us, His Royal Highness?
I'm getting you. I'm getting you, NS. I'm getting you
Okay.
well. 5 on 5.
Okay. Did you get the
The the
question?
the, the admins that yes, I got your question. The
Okay.
admins that run that forum, all the admins that run that forum are the different heads of the different functional guilds of the Cameroon film industry.
Hmm.
And at that level, there is a lot of discipline because we have certain rules that we apply at the level of the guilds, at the different WhatsApp forums of the different groups. We have a certain degree of discipline. And when we come into the CFI networking, social networking hub, we still apply that same level of discipline by also letting the younger ones joining, and of course the independent filmmakers joining, to understand that the film industry is very organized and structured. So the success so far recorded in that platform is because most of the admins are different, are the different heads of the different guilds, and they work in line and in synergy to the MOU that already exists within those guilds. And then we also have a reporter, a secretary of the platform, who reports to a back office of those admins, who reports to them weekly on the different activities and squabbles or differences or whatever challenges that exist in the platform. And we try as much as possible to moderate them. And this so far has been the best thing we have done in trying to moderate and even sanction some of the members on that platform who go against some of the rules that we implanted at the beginning.
Well, I can testify that this has been one of the biggest success stories in the industry, and I must laud your efforts on that. His Royal Highness Musi and the various leaders of the guilds. So this is Apex One Radio. We are live this Saturday, and we're talking to two of Cameroon's most industrious filmmakers. His Royal Highness Chief Musiwa is the president of the Producers Guild of Cameroon, and Syriette is an award-winning actress with many films, many movies to her credit. I'll turn back to Syriette and take her some years back again to talk about my image in Kanya Kwai film. You tell us about how did you get on this production and how did you feel being part of my image?
Thank you for this question. I mean, I don't think that I have spoken about my image enough, because this is one project that I gave in my all. I did it with everything in me, and I'm glad that I could lay hands on. I had the privilege to lay hands on the script, on the role, and I was called on board the project by Kanya Kwai. You know, I guess maybe based on my past projects, I do not know. But then I just received a call one day from Kanya Kwai, and he was like, "You know what, Syriette, I have a role here, and I think you're the one who can interpret it." And I was like, "Okay, let me see the script." I went through it, and I was emotional about it. And I was like, "Okay, so when are we going on set?" And that was how everything came about. And then I went on set. I acted alongside Nabil as his wife, and I mean, this role, the role is crazy. Sometimes I think the interview, one interview I granted in the Yaoundé at the CRTV, I could even barely talk. I'm telling you, I could barely talk about the role. So I think that today I'm much comfortable talking about it. And this is just a lady who, for some reasons, I think I grew up with my aunt, and I saw how she was being battered in her marriage. She was being abused. She was abused. She was disrespected. She gave in her all and all of that. So, this is somebody that I love, who raised me, and I loved her so much. You know how it is in the Northwest. When you get married, there is a child in the family, in your family, that you will take into your marriage as your child. So I was my aunt's child, first child. So she was like my mother. Seeing her go through all of that, and then finally losing her marriage, was something that really traumatized me. So when I picked up this role, of a lady who um, giving her all to a narcissist, and it went unappreciated. I mean, it got me so emotional.
Hmm. Wow,
So,
that's interesting. We spoke about my image some time ago on Apex One Radio. Producer and of course the director. That was like 4 years ago. We are revisiting uh, that movie today with one of the actresses who starred in it, and of course other movies, including Hidden Dream. Hidden Dream was selected for Oscars, I guess the 2022 edition of the Oscars. And even if the movie did not go beyond selection, but at least it was
it
selected for
was.
Oscars, and that is big. Tell us how you can you hear us, Syriette?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes, so I want you to tell us how you feel about the fact that you were part of the movie that got selected by the Oscars, which is the biggest film recognition platform in the world.
Oh my God, it was mind blowing.
Mhm.
It was mind blowing. At first sight, it was like, what? It was unbelievable. But at the same time, I want to think that the Cameroon film industry has worked so hard over the years. They
Mhm.
have improved, they have grown. Like His Royal Highness Chief Musi said,
Mhm.
the quality of the films, the images, the actors,
Okay, she got stuck there. We are live on radio. It is Apex movie, or we're having some internet. Let's see if she's back. Can you hear us now, Syriette?
yes, I'm here. So, I mean,
You're
based on
back. So
all
you were
these
talking about
improvements and all of that, are you there? Can you hear me?
sure 515.
Okay, yes. So, based on all these improvements in the industry, the growth, the level of growth, one will agree that, I mean, Cameroon is ready for all the international recognitions that it's been having over the years
Mhm.
because of the hard work that they put in. I want to believe that everyone has gone back to the drawing board. Everyone is doing is we are not more at the point where we used to just do movies for our communities, for just for local consumption and all of that.
Mm.
Cameroon is at the point where they are doing movies for international consumptions as well. So I'm not surprised that Hidden Dreams could go that far.
Mhm. Definitely, many Cameroonian movies have been on the international stage.
Yes,
Cameroonian movies in recent years have traveled across festivals across
yes.
the world, including Hidden Dream, which from which we don't know. Briefly tell us about your character in this movie, Syriette.
For some reasons, they always give me these roles. Okay, Mafilo is
Mhm.
a teacher, who is in her 30s. She's a teacher who fights for the rights of a girl child. And she happens to be transferred to a community, another village, where she goes there and then picks interest in this girl.
Mhm.
And she does everything to make sure that this girl is not given away for marriage like that, and that she gets educated.
Mhm. Okay, that's beautiful. And your performance in the movie, were you satisfied?
I was. I was. Although there is always something about artists or
Mhm.
actors, every after doing a project, they are never really satisfied 100%. Maybe I should speak for myself,
Mhm.
but there is always something that if I have a chance to do it again, I feel like I can always do it even better, and that is where the learning process comes in. Like you never get to the point where you're so comfortable. You keep learning, and you keep learning. It's a continuous learning process. Hello, Ernest. Hello.
Yeah, it seems as if we're kind of losing Ernest on this side, on that side. Um,
Did you hear
Ernest,
me?
are you there? Yes, Syriette, I'm actually getting you on this side, Syriette. Syriette, are you there?
Yes, I am. You asked about my
Okay.
performance,
No, we are
and
losing Ernest. This is Chief Musiwa. I think we are trying to get hold
oh,
of Ernest.
okay, okay, okay. His
Yeah,
Royal
we're trying
Highness.
to get hold of it. So you can keep talking about your performance. I think it's important for our listeners because I'm sure they're
Okay,
getting. Yeah.
all right. Yes. So, I mean, I want to take our time to equally talk. Like the host made mention of the fact that we had one great actress who was on board last week, and Sylvia Bride, and how she made mention of my role in her life and how it has impacted her career. I want to really applaud her for her growth and her achievements, and to say that, baby girl, I'm proud of you for everything that the little that you took from me and added to what you have. I know you are a bunch of talent, and the world is yet to discover who you are. And to say that this goes to every other actor out there who is looking up to me. I am not perfect, but I'm telling you that I am always ready to mentor and give you the guidance that I can give you. And it's left for you to work on it, because I do not think that Bright just, took just what I said and then stayed like that and then went and had all the awards. She worked. So just like myself, this is to tell you that if I have a chance to go back and redo Mafilo on Hidden Dreams, I'm going to do it 10 times better.
Well, that's
We keep
amazing.
working.
Okay. I think what one thing I pick out is the fact that humility is a vital thing for us in the industry, especially when you are able to mentor someone and the person humbles him or herself and
Yes,
accepts that mentorship. I
that's
think
right.
these are some of the things that have risen people from a certain level to another level, because now you have a reference, you have someone who held your hand. And most of the people in other industries, like even some in our own industry here, they are not able to accept where they are beginning, where they started from, and
Yeah.
who uplifted them in the industry. And one
Mm-hmm.
thing you said when the host asked you the question about your role in the film, you said there is always something that an artist comes back from every production. That's something that most people never say, because for you to like you said, that's where the learning begins. For you
Yes,
to be able to do better next time is when you are able to like feel like there is something you didn't do in the last production that you
that's
need to
right.
do better in the next production. And I think
That's
that's
right.
something most listeners, most young newbies, most young actors and actresses, even producers, directors, as soon as you can accept the fact that you are never the best in the thing you do, that there's still a better you, and then it makes you really shine out and stand out. That's
That's
how the
right.
best people have always made it. I think it's a wonderful experience you shared there, Syriette,
That's
which is,
right. Thank you. Thank you,
yeah.
His Royal Highness. I remember there was a time, every time I have the the opportunity to watch myself on screen, I'm always it's always like I'm on needles, I'm on pins and needles, because I look at every detail. It's like, maybe I should have done it better, I should have done it like this, I should have done it like that. Maybe if I have a chance to do it again, I'm going to do it differently. And that is something that I always emphasize on. And I say, the moment you um come to that point where you feel that you are the best, you have done it, like there is nothing you cannot do, that is where everything stops. When you
Yeah.
get to the climax, and then everything is going to stop. But if you know and you believe that, okay, there is more to learn, you have to keep working, and then,
Right.
yes, it keeps you in the business,
Yeah, and
and
I
you keep
think
getting
that
better.
that goes to your own humble beginning, how you all got into all of this. I'm so appreciative when you mentioned the fact that you went into a production and you didn't know anyone, like when you were in Samba. Like it's so difficult getting into a production set. You know no one, and then you still do your thing, and then you go away. I mean, that's wonderful. And then from there, you make new friends, you get
That's
new
right.
experiences, and of course, it you add value. You add value to the industry. I think these are some of the things we really need to appreciate. And have you? There's this other aspect about going public, Syriette. I actually see how you measure up yourself out there when we get to festivals, when we when it's Kamif time, when it's going to festivals out there. I just see those colors in you each time you go on the red carpet. So
Thank
what's your
you.
experience from that humble day, that humble beginning when you first went on the carpet, and how it is today?
I mean, oh my goodness. Thank you, His Royal Highness, for asking this question. I was once embarrassed on a show where I heard a lady, the host, ask me, they tell me they used to be a fan of mine. They were looking forward to meeting me on the red carpet and all of that. And when they saw me on the red carpet, they were disappointed because of my looks, what I had on, my the fabrics especially, and all of that. And I was like, oh my God. See, there is something I always tell people, that knowing where you're coming from and knowing where you're going to is
Right.
something that is highly, highly underrated. When you know where you're coming
Exactly.
from, you know where you're going to be guided. If
Exactly.
Because there's a lot going on in the showbiz, the entertainment industry in general. We have a lot of competition, unnecessary competition, as I'll call it, you know,
Well,
especially amongst the ladies. Say, having your drive, knowing why you came into the film industry or any space, is going to guide you. Listen to me carefully. Now, when I
right.
got that time, I had just come into the industry. What I was doing, I was investing more on learning. So I was going for rehearsals, I was doing trainings, I was paying for those trainings. I was
Yeah.
doing that. And at that time, my priorities were different. That is why when an
Exactly.
actress or an actor comes up to me, tell me, and tells me they would like to act. They want to meet this director at all costs. They want to be on every production set. They want to be everywhere. I tell them, you are prioritizing the wrong thing. Rather, use this time and energy, the resources, and work on your art. Work on it and
Exactly.
be so good that when you meet an opportunity, success will definitely be in the. But when you
Exactly.
prioritize wrong things and you keep chasing these opportunities, when you meet them, you're going to waste them. And that was how I was
Right.
able to use the little resources that I had at that time to acquire the training that I could acquire at the time. So I wanted to be on a red carpet so bad. I wanted to be there, and because of a nomination that I had in Baka. So I went, and this lady was disappointed. So when they came on the show and they asked me, I told her that, well, my darling, I'm sorry if you felt disappointed, but I do not think that at this point I am doing I'm doing the wrong thing, because I was investing in my career. That was my
Yeah.
path I'd chosen.
Hmm.
Investing in my career. It was not about the fabric, posing on the red carpet when and then not having anything to your name or actual impact in the industry. So I needed to work
Right.
on myself first. And then when the time came, now my art, my impact in the industry, now my value that I had placed on myself, now gave me the resources that I needed to show up now on those red carpets looking even better. And that is how, if you look at it, you will see the growth. You will see how it has evolved over the years. It has moved from one step to the other. Everyone will know that, okay, Syriette got into this. This is where she started. And this is what she moved from this stage to this stage. And this is how she was able to acquire or achieve everything that she has now.
Right. And Sherette, what you're saying is perfectly true with our industry. And I'm happy that you've been able to keep this strength. You've been able to observe very keenly from those beginnings and where we are today in the industry. It's such a wonderful thing. People need to keep track. You need to keep track of
Mhm.
what you're doing in the arts, because it's only in that you try, you strive to be better, especially when we
Yes.
come on these platforms and we talk. Ernest is such a person that has followed the industry from those humble beginnings in 2007 and 8 when we started the Cameroon film industry. He's been
Yes.
following up every aspect of the industry, and he speaks today as an insider, and he masters, he knows, and that's why he's been seeing what is going on in the industry, and he's able to pick out the people that he brings on this show, to get to
Mhm.
talk to people. And in talking to people, like he said, we're creating the CFI Social Networking Hub. The younger filmmakers, they are listening to us, they are watching us, and even people out of Cameroon, they are watching. So the film community, both nationally and in the diaspora, are watching and having the experiences of the true Cameroon film industry and the realities on the ground.
Yes,
And yeah, I'm also concerned about your acting as well. While waiting to get Ernest come on, have you ever had kind of like a very challenging role, like one of your most challenging films that you ever featured?
well, I will still say that it will be Samba, and the role of I mean the character Julie. Because why would I say
Mm-hmm.
so? That is because not because it was the most difficult to interpret, but because I would say that that was the first time I had the opportunity to act with the big names in the industry at the time. At that time, the likes of Epule Jeffrey, the likes of Sandy Long, the likes of Ade Kelly, the likes of Libota, McDonough, the likes of um, Voga Sampson. I mean, that was my first experience. So you know how it is when you just go on set and then you have that magnitude, the magnitude of that project, and then the director Enna Jones called. We had Elum Brenda. You know how Elum Brenda. Everyone who knows her knows she's a go getter, and
Yeah.
she's going to keep doing what she does until she gets what the result she wants. So I mean, it was a little bit challenging for me, coupled to the fact that I went there, I didn't know anyone on that set on a personal note. So it just like, oh my God, you're being overwhelmed by the fact that, oh, you're acting alongside these big names, especially Epule Jeffrey. That is somebody that I have seen in this industry who has put in his all, his everything, even at the detriment of his health. He still keeps going. So he's such an inspiration to me. And yeah, that is one of the most challenging roles I've picked. And then yes, my image, reasons being that it was just like my auntie's story just flashing again before my very eyes and all of that. So I mean, it was quite challenging, very, very challenging. I can remember vividly. There were times when I would take the lines and I would get so emotional. So sometimes you have to still be conscious that, okay, this is a script. This is not the real life story. So you're able to manage your emotions and all of that. So yes, and then two ways where I acted as a blind girl. Oh my God, I had to go all the way out to I mean, do some findings, how a blind would react in certain situations, how they assign some basic sign languages and all of that. And I can remember how a young Quinta asked me when she met me now on Apple for Two, the next set, when she met me. Before that, I mean, when she came on set, that was my first time rolling with her. And then when the director, the daddies, called the shot, the first scene I had with her. After the scene, she was left mouth open. She was like, "What? The daddies? Where did you get this girl from?" I mean, that alone, equally, because she's somebody that I equally look up to, her works and all of that. She has put in so much work. I respect her a lot. Having her compliment me like that meant a lot to me at that time. So after the production where we went on the next set, she could still look at me and be like, are you sure you can see clearly now? Like, are you sure you can see? So it was really challenging for me because I had to get into that. I mean, that was a project that gave me uh, the African Film Festival USA 2020, and I had to just get into the whole thing. So I'm still very, very grateful to the daddies for being patient, because I remember how he traveled. He had called me. I think we had some internet issues here in Bamenda. He had tried reaching out to me to no avail. At the time I was in Bamenda, he tried reaching out to no avail. He called and called, wrote to me online to no avail. And he had to travel all the way from the southwest to Bamenda to look for me. He came to Bamenda, stayed in Bamenda for 3 days and couldn't find me. And at that time, there were, I think, Kingsley, Onyama Laura, they were doing Rebel Pilgrim. They were on that set. And I think Kingsley contacted Estin Young Jr. to tell him that the daddies was in Bamenda looking for me. So at the time I was in the university, and I remember Estin did everything possible to get to me and tell me that the daddies was in Bamenda and he had been here for 3 days looking for me. The daddies was in Limbe when they were doing auditions for Samba. So that was where he saw me. I auditioned for Samba. So when it was time for 2 ways, the daddies, he said he had casted for the other roles, for every other role except for the lead role. And it took him like a month to get the actor that was going to interpret that role. And the producer, Desiree, was like, oh my God, can we just get into this already? What's keeping us? So the daddies was like, please, can you just trust me and just be patient with me. Let me get who I think will be able to do this for us, please. So, and then the daddies was like, that's the story he gave me, that one day he was just taking a nap, and then flashes of me just came like, oh, there was this girl on Samba audition and she did really amazing. Okay, he just jumped up and was like, okay, this is the person. And then he tried contacting me and all of that. So when he sent the script, because I have this I think every other actor does that, by the way. I read my scripts, know what I'm to do before I get on board. So when I read it, I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait to do this. So I always like roles that are very, very challenging. I think this is one thing, this is my strength in the industry, because I do really complex, I interpret very complex roles. So it's like they always keep the most difficult for me. So that was how the daddies was able to contact me, and then I went for it, and I started doing my findings, research. When I went there, to be able to do this effortlessly, I had to leave it. So I remember when Epule Jeffrey used to tell me, or said, you're such a boring person. Like, how can you just isolate yourself like that and all of that? But he did not understand that it was because I had already gotten into that character and I was living it. When we go on set, I remember there were times when I just go there and just stay with the villagers, and I do not even associate with my co-actors. I'll just go and be with them. And this is something that a lot of people, when we go on set, we get so distracted. I know everyone does. There are times when I really do get distracted too, but sometimes just try as much as you can to be able to leave it. Do your findings. How can somebody, in this, somebody who is supposed to play this role, how can you go about it? What are some of the things that you can do to assist you to make the work easier for you. You get, so I mean, two ways very challenging. Samba very challenging. My image very very challenging. I think these are the three most challenging roles I have ever picked up. I doubt if he's yeah, Ernest. Chief Musi is still on, but if not, then I'm going to be here again for some maybe few more minutes, you know, while waiting for the host. If the host does not come on, and then we're just going to have a conversation, and then we call it a day. So I am going to be talking about some of my movies, some movies that I have starred in, and we have movies like Zigzag, we have Samson by T. Conrad, we have Tenacity by Musi, we have Conundrum by Nkeng Rogers, we have um, Two Ways by the Daddies, we have Early Sunset by Crow Titles, we have Apple for Two and Samba by Enna John Scott, we have Planters Plantation by Estin Young Jr., we have My Image by Kanya Quine, again, we have Shrill by Siofa Roland, we have Hidden Dreams by Gang Romanus, shout out Baba. We have Virgin Blade by Chinepo Cousin. We have Broken Petal. We have Love Trap by Chinepo Cousin. We have When the Levees Broke by Musin Derrick. We have a lot of them. And then we have Flush, a TV series by Tata Pong. We have, oh my God, there are many. Okay, the most recent, we have Broken Roses by Eno Bismarck and produced by Ben Lillian. Yes. So if anybody ever told you that being in the Cameroon film industry is easy, then the person lied. Being in every other field is not easy. The Cameroon film industry is not an exception. So if you are getting into the film business as an actor, do your assignments, get the work done, work on your art. Humility is key. Nobody wants to work with a proud or arrogant actor, no matter how talented you are. If you're not punctual, nobody wants to work with you because you're going to be wasting resources. If you're going to be the one to keep the production set, nobody will want to work with you. And ironically, most roles in the film industry are based on recommendations, especially when you have worked your way up to a certain stage. You're going to be having mostly recommendations. So you do not want to be in a position where, you know, a movie comes up and then maybe the producers or directors are discussing, because of course they're going to definitely get to other producers or directors who have been in the field before them. So to want to find out who are the actors who are in the industry, who are the ones who are most talented, who are the ones who are going to make our job easier. And you do not want to be rolled under the bus. Because most times when actors pick up a role, they feel that they have arrived. And then before you know it, they start abusing that opportunity. They start disrespecting people on that movie set because they've already gotten on board the production. Yes, they're going to tolerate your nonsense. They're going to do everything just so they can get done with the production. But after that production, most producers, most directors will never want to work with you again. They're never going to recommend you anywhere. As a matter of fact, trust me, they're going to get you out of many productions. So humility is key. Respecting the people who have been there. Trust me, these people have worked their ass to make this industry what it is today. I can remember when I used to watch Mambo Augusta on screen, and I used to be like, wow, oh my God. And today, no matter how big I get, how big I become, I'll never stop talking about Mambo Augusta. I'm never going to stop talking about how much she was an inspiration to me. I'm never going to stop talking about Ekule Jeffrey. I'm never going to stop talking about Voga Samson. I'm never going to stop talking about Libota McDonough. You get? Because these are the people who were on screen. They had little or no resources. Then, yet they were able to make the industry what it is today. So respecting people, because people have this tendency of disrespecting people when they get to know them, when they get to meet them and be familiar with them. So these are just a few tips that I would like to give to the young actors who are coming into the field, and to say that please do not identify yourself with cliques. A clique is a good thing, but be smart enough to know when it's toxic. Be smart enough to know when something is wrong. If you're an actor who is coming up, register yourself in the Actors Guild. It is very important to belong, and be sure that the rights of an actor as an actor is protected. What else are we supposed to talk about today? So do not get into the film industry today and then you just expect to. Okay, so this is where we are going to call it a quit. Thank you all for following. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we are going to have another audition. Ciao, ciao.